Hi, I'm Petra from Serbia, and I have an extremely rare condition where my aging process is much slower than that of regular people. Like when I was 6 years old, I looked like a dumb 2-year-old toddler, which made people treat me like one. And things got even worse as a teenager. But before I continue, click like and subscribe. Because of my condition, my parents decided to homeschool me till I was a bit older. I only got to hang out with other kids at the playground, and I'd get picked on all the time because I looked so much smaller than everybody. Once, when I was about 8 years old, I was playing on the slides in the park when a worried-looking woman came running to me.
Sweetie, are you lost?
No.
Oh, poor baby. Probably can't understand a thing. You must be so scared.
Do I look scared? And I'm not a baby. But she wasn't even listening to me. And before I knew it, she was calling over a policeman from the street.
We have a missing child here, officer. Please, help her find her mommy and daddy.
Despite my protests, the policeman whisked me off to the station and started taking pictures of me for missing child posters. Oh my God, I know my parents' number and address. I live right across the street from the playground, and you guys kidnapped me. This was the beginning of many, many times my parents had to come get me from the police station. I finally joined school in the 7th grade. The minute I walked into the classroom, a girl elbowed me roughly and said, "I think you've lost your way, kid." Oh, if only I had $1 for every time I heard that. I would be a millionaire by now, and I wouldn't need to be in this school with dumb people like you. And with that, I pushed her aside and took my seat. When I did all the math problems correctly in the first lesson, the teacher called me over, looking all starstruck.
Wow, Petra, you're a genius.
Thanks. Why?
Because you solved these algebra problems meant for 12-year-olds.
But I am 12 years old. The teacher just giggled and then did something I hated. She pulled my cheek.
Oh, aren't you a little cutie pie? Yes, you definitely have the mind of a 12-year-old.
No matter how many times I said it, no one believed that I was actually 12. They all thought I was some kind of baby genius who'd been bumped up a few grades. Eventually, I gave up and let everyone believe I was super smart. This didn't really help me become popular or make friends, though. Jessica, the meanest girl in class, wasn't too happy because everyone thought I was the smartest, and she made sure everyone constantly made fun of me.
Does your butt look big 'cause you're wearing a diaper?
What kind of language is that book in?
Goo goo gaga.
Another time, I was eating lunch by myself when Jessica suddenly stopped by my table.
Aw, how is the baby gonna eat all that with her little baby teeth?
Why are you this way, Jessica?
What do you mean?
I mean, why are you so awful to me? You're the most popular girl in class.
Yeah, I know, but before you showed up out of nowhere, I was the smartest too.
Fine, you're the prettiest and the smartest girl in the world. Can you leave me alone now, please?
Sure, but let me mash everything for the little baby to eat first.
And with that, she started pounding my food with her fist. OMG, you are such a psycho. And with that, I picked up the smushed piece of cake and flung it at her face. She picked up my glass of juice and dunked it on my head. And before we knew it, everybody joined in for fun and a full-scale food fight had broken out. We both got detention. And after that day, I found a corner in the little playpen for the kindergarten kids and basically had lunch there by myself the next 3 years. Until one day, Josh came and sat next to me. Josh had just joined our class a few weeks ago, and he was a total babe. With all the popular girls drooling all over him, I was sure he wouldn't notice someone like me, which is why I was pretty shocked to find him here.
Why do you always have lunch alone?
Is this your first time in high school? Of course, I don't expect someone like you to get it. He took my hand and looked deep into my eyes.
I don't understand why someone as adorable as you is here either.
I was so annoyed at how fast that made my heart beat. After that, Josh and I became really good friends. He'd always invite me to watch his football games and started coming over to my place for study dates. Since he'd joined so late, he needed to do a lot of catching up, and I was more than happy to help. I hated to admit it, I just had the biggest crush on him. The annual spring dance was around the corner, and it was all anyone could talk about at school. All the girls were yapping nonstop about their dresses and who they'd be going with. Of course, I was hoping Josh would ask me out, but when he didn't, I decided I didn't need to wait around like a sappy Disney princess. I'd ask him out myself. I bought tickets for the opening show of the new Avengers movie. Just as we were about to enter the theater, one of the cinema staff stopped me.
Hey, little girl. You can't go in. That's a PG-13 movie.
I'm almost 16. Here, look at my ID.
We see fake IDs all the time, kid. Sorry, but I can't let you go.
And with that, he pushed me out of line and refused to listen to me anymore. I can't believe this. Let's go then.
Go? I mean, what's the point of wasting both the tickets? We'll still have dinner together, okay?
And just like that, he turned and went inside. I was furious. I couldn't even go anywhere because he'd driven me here. When he finally came out after 3 hours, he was practically jumping with excitement.
OMG, that was epic. Iron Man snapped his fingers and died, but he saved the world.
He'd not only watched the movie without me, he'd ruined it for me completely. I thought maybe the rest of the evening would go a little better, but boy was I wrong. At the end of the meal, when the waitress brought us our fortune cookies, I looked over excitedly at Josh to open his and read the little note inside.
Will you be my date for the spring dance, Josh?
He looked up at me in complete shock.
Petra, I don't know how to say this, but, no. How could you even think that? You're more like a little sister to me. I've already asked Jessica out. Man, you've really made things awkward.
I felt so utterly crushed and stupid. I flung a glass of water in his face. I wish I could snap my fingers right now and make you disappear. And with that, I ran out of there and took the bus home. Nobody was more grateful than me when stupid high school ended and I was off to college. It wasn't too far from my town, so my parents could visit me often or come bail me out every time an officer thought I was an underage driver. Gosh, this is the 3rd time this month. Why are you police officers so dumb? Can't you see I have a real license?
She doesn't mean that, officer. Come on, sweetie, let's go.
My parents always had my back, but no one understood how frustrating it was for me to be treated like a kid all the time. Until I met Andrew. In my 2nd year at university, I took up a job as a professor's assistant for one of the courses. I knew the other students made fun of me behind my back. But one day, they went really overboard. The professor was unwell, and I was taking the class in his place. As soon as I turned my back to the board, I got hit by a dozen paper balls. I turned around to see everyone snickering. I'm your teacher. Didn't your parents teach you any respect?
You're not our teacher. You can't even reach the top of the board without standing on a stool. Go back to school, loser.
You can't behave this way with me. I want everyone who's responsible to apologize right now.
Or you'll do what? Go crying to your mommy?
I'll fail you in every single assignment. You do remember I grade them, right?
Oh no, I'm scared. Miss Petra, will you forgive me if I give you a lollipop?
That's it. Get out.
Happy to. Come on, guys, let's go. We don't need to take orders from some high school smarty pants.
And just like that, the whole class walked out. I tried to keep my cool, but when everyone had left, I burst into angry tears. Just then, I felt a gentle tap on the shoulder, and I looked up to see that it was Andrew, one of the students.
I'm really sorry about the way they treated you. I think you're really smart and beautiful.
We became friends, and soon after, we started dating. He was just the sweetest guy, and even though he looked much older than me, he was never ashamed to hold my hand in public, even if it got us weird looks. A few weeks later, I had an internship interview in another city, and Andrew offered to see me off at the airport. Just as I was leaving, he took my hand.
Good luck, babe. I hope you get it, but I'll really miss you.
And with that, he pulled me in for our first kiss.
It's not me you need to be scared of, little girl, but the man standing next to you. Should I tell her you?
Head was still spinning with joy when suddenly I saw a few policemen walking towards us.
Sir, please move away from the kid. What's the problem, officer? We've recently had many reports of a gang kidnapping young girls, and you need to come down to the station with us to answer a few questions.
Wait, what? He's not a kidnapper. He's my boyfriend, and I'm 20 years old. The policeman didn't listen to a word we said, and we were taken down to the station. My parents had to come down again with my birth certificate and baby pictures before they finally let us go. It turned out that the people at the airport had been making videos of the whole thing, and it had gone viral on social media, with people saying all sorts of mean things about me and Andrew. And to make things worse, the company I had an interview with wasn't happy that I didn't show up, so I lost the internship too. I was beyond furious now. I took to social media myself and posted a video talking about how I'd always been discriminated against because of the way I looked. The video went viral and I started receiving a lot of sympathy messages and support. The public pressure made the police issue an official apology, and the company even offered me the internship again. But my condition had really sparked an interest in the public, and I was being invited to tons of TV and online interviews. All everyone wanted to know was the secret of my youth. Soon enough, I realized that people envied me. One morning, I picked up the local newspaper from the door and was horrified to see my face splashed across the front page with the headline, "Girl Discovers Secret to Eternal Youth."
Babe, come here and look outside the window.
To my shock, there was a massive crowd of people outside our apartment building, and the minute they spotted me in the window, they started screaming. "Have you discovered the fountain of youth? Tell us where it is. What do you eat to look so young? I'll pay anything for it."
With your anti-aging formula for youthful skin, we can become millionaires. Come work for our skincare company.
This was complete madness, and I had to put an end to it. I opened the window and everybody became quiet to hear what I had to say. Listen, there is no secret. It's a condition I've always had, and it's not a blessing. I've never had anyone take me seriously my whole life. I spent all of high school being bullied. My message to everyone is that we all need to learn to be happy in our own skins and accept everyone as they are. Thankfully, the message spread far and wide, and people didn't bother me again, but I still became pretty famous and was regularly called for talks on self-acceptance and against bullying. I'm married to Andrew now, and we have 2 young kids, and secretly, I really don't mind at all when someone says I don't look like a mom.